Good morning, Facebook, friends, family. Hello. Cheers. Yes, that was the first sip. My name is Jackie Lawrence, and I am here to give you a tutorial on what order should your base face go on. So, many of you have been taking advantage of the deal that my company has going on. So I want to help you out when you get your products. And even if you don't have these products, but you have your own makeup, this is going to be helpful for you too, okay? So what order should your base face go on? First and foremost, I'm going to actually pull it back, scale it back to from the time you wake up out of bed. So you get up out of bed, hopefully you brush your teeth, because I'm sure your breath is nasty. Then wash your face, okay? So you're going to wash your face. After you wash your face, at that point in time would be a good time to put on any eye treatment that you want. So I usually put on an under eye treatment. Then your foundation goes on, okay? Then, actually, not your foundation. Good morning. Your moisturizer goes on, okay? So your moisturizer goes on. And then any topical treatment that you have. Like I have a treatment that's called Instant Lifting Serum. And so it's a topical, which means it goes on top of my moisturizer to help soften, define my fine lines. Okay, so that's your pre-putting makeup on in the morning. So you want to make sure that you do that first. Moisturizer, moisturizer, moisturizer. Don't forget your moisturizer. Even if you have oily skin, don't skip your moisturizer. You just use a different type of moisturizer, okay? But usually when you have super oily skin, that just means your body's lacking moisture, so it's overproducing its oil glands. Yeah, so you just need to add some moisture to your skin. Okay, when you get to your makeup, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna put on primer first. So this is my primer. Primer goes first. Primer is a must. I had this lovely conversation with a friend of mine about the difference between primer and concealer, and she thought they were the same. And no, primer. Primer is all alone by itself. It should go on first before any lick of other makeup goes on. Primer is going to set everything else. Okay, it's going to allow your foundation to sit on the surface of your face, nice and smooth, not seep into your fine lines and pores. It's going to allow you to use less makeup so it won't feel like you have makeup on your face. What else does it do? It smooths out your skin. Hello, people. It smooths out your skin. Okay, so you only need a little bit of primer. I was going to use a brush today. You can use your fingers, but I thought, I'm going to use a brush today. Okay, so you can put a little primer on a brush if you want. So if you're someone like me, I have really sensitive skin. I try to avoid using my fingers. Okay, but so if you want, you could use a brush. This is just a standard foundation brush. So I'm just gonna dab this all over my face and then put my primer on. If you don't have super sensitive skin or are prone to breakouts really easy, then just use your fingers and rub it all over your face. Oh, I hear somebody. Hi. Okay. Good morning. Go just chill out in your bed until I'm done, okay? Okay. He's up early. Make sure you take your primer down your jaw and your neck, okay? Because you're going to put foundation there. Girls and boys, you're going to put foundation there. Okay, so primer's on. All over my face. I also make sure that I get it really good in my problem areas, and I have mature skin. So that's gonna be under my eyes, you know, where the wrinkles are in your pores. Okay, now foundation. So the next step is foundation. Foundation before concealer. I think that's the biggest misconception. Now, first of all, I have to tell you this. There is no Bible of how exactly you should put makeup on, okay? There is no written law book, I should say not Bible, law book, for how to put your makeup on. I'm giving you my most popular suggestions, in my opinion, what works best for most. Can you put concealer on before your foundation? Absolutely. In my opinion, less is more, meaning that most women I speak for the majority, don't want it to feel like they have a ton of makeup on. So if you can minimize the amount of makeup you put on your face, yet maximize the coverage that you're looking for, then this might probably work for you. So foundation first. So I am using my liquid foundation. I've got two because I'm between my summer and winter color. Okay, so taffeta is my winter color, chiffon is my summer color, and since I'm right in between, I haven't yet been in the sun enough, but I've been fake tanning with my fake tanning lotion. I'm gonna do a combination of both. So I'm using this brush today. Okay, it's my powder puff brush. And the reason why I can use my powder puff brush to put on liquid is because my liquid foundation dries to a powder finish. Okay, so I know sometimes I'll get ladies who say, oh, I love that brush, I'm gonna use that with my liquid foundation. It won't work with normal liquid foundations, it'll ruin the brush. It has to be this specific liquid to powder. But watch what it does, it's unbelievable. Okay, so I just put 4 drops onto my brush, and then I'm gonna dot my face and put on my foundation, which is unbelievably, provides amazing coverage. And so you just do little circular motions. I love how fast and easy this goes on. Okay, here's a tip for you ladies. Skip the eye bed area. You're gonna do that last. Okay, because typically, most women, if they contact me, they say, how do I get it so that my makeup isn't creasing in my under eye area? You wanna use the least amount of makeup there that you possibly can. So you can skip that area altogether, or you could wait to the very end, and so get the product everywhere else. Make sure you go down your neck. Get it everywhere else, go into your ear so everything blends, and then you do the eye bed last. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. You know what's really awesome is this dries to a powder finish. So for those of you not familiar with this makeup, you don't need powder. Okay, I had another lady ask, she's like, well, do I need to get powder to go over that liquid foundation? No, it dries to a powder finish. So you don't need any powder. It's amazing. Okay, so I've got that nice, smooth, even coverage. I want to turn that light off. It's bothering me. Just so you know, my squirrel brain, it's taking over. Okay, so primer, right? Primer, foundation. There it goes. Foundation, and then what's next? Concealer. So I'm going to use concealer in the color Organza. Okay, you want to use concealer that's 1 to 3 shades lighter than your foundation. So this is my concealer. That's going to go on next. Now, concealer can be done, for example, let's do two different types of concealers. Can you guys see that right there? That is a zit. And it came yesterday. And sometimes your foundation might not cover certain areas of your face that you need a little more coverage. So that's where you're gonna use concealer after your foundation, because you're gonna allow your foundation to do its work first. Sometimes your foundation is gonna give you the coverage that you need, and you don't need additional. But for me, let's just say, that doesn't really bother me that much, but let's just say I want max coverage on that. I'm gonna use concealer that is 1 shade darker than my foundation, and I am going to use the teeniest, tiniest amount of concealer that you have ever seen. In fact, that teeny, tiny amount is more than I need. So you take a concealer brush. Let me find my concealer brush. That's not it. Okay, so you're going to take your concealer brush and you're going to dab a little bit of that on to that area. So you go like that, dab it on, and then you just staple it in. Kind of pat it in till it's all blended. Do you see that? Hello, it's gone. And I still have a ton of left. I'm telling you, this concealer is thebomb.com. You need very, very little. What is that? Get that off my face. It's an eyelash. Okay. See? I've got max coverage in that area now. So for those of you that might need additional coverage, that's what you do. You use concealer that is one shade darker. Now for an under eye highlight, I'm gonna do a highlight for you. I'm gonna do an under eye highlight. I think I'm gonna do an all over highlight for you. Concealer is going to go on after. So concealer goes on after your foundation. So I'm gonna put on my concealer and I'm using a shade that is 2 shades lighter than my foundation. So you always wanna use 1 to 3 shades lighter than your foundation to create that highlighted look. Okay, so let's do it. Concealer goes on after foundation. And do you see you're primarily going to use concealer in your under eye area, and that's why you don't want to put a ton of foundation down there, because you don't need a ton of product down there. So I am just putting a light layer underneath my under eye area. And I'm using my concealer brush. You can use your finger, okay? Again, I'll show tutorials using my finger, but I'll be honest with you, when I'm putting makeup on, I try to avoid using my fingers as much as possible just because I have sensitive skin. And I just don't want to put anything unnecessary onto my skin possible. So my brushes tend to be a little more sanitary than my fingers because my fingers are grabbing everything. Okay, so that's my under eye area. Now we're gonna go, I'm gonna do a little highlight on my forehead. Just a little one because I have a large forehead, so I don't wanna highlight my forehead. So I'm just gonna do a small surface area, but I do wanna do a beautiful highlight down the center of my nose because I'm gonna do an unbelievable contour later. I will highlight my jowl line. Okay, I'm like going above and beyond. Just so you know, most of you are just probably gonna do your under eye area and it goes on after your foundation. After your foundation. This is my Cupid's bow so that my lip looks bigger. And a little of my chin to make my jaw more defined and my face less round. Okay, so I clearly put way too much concealer on my lid here. And then we're gonna blend that. So there's so many ways you can blend this. I cleaned my beauty blender. Oh, look at how nice and clean this is. I need to do a tutorial on this, don't I? How to clean your beauty blenders. So this is damp. I'm gonna use this to blend. You could use your fingers if you want. I've done that before. I've done that a lot actually on my tutorials to show you that. But I haven't done this in a while. So this is damp. I just cleaned it. So it is nice and damp and it's nice and clean. And so you're just gonna go in and pat this on and blend. This beauty blender is from Eco Tools and I really like it. I have one more step to show you for your base face. Base face. Okay, so now I've got this gorgeous under eye highlight with my concealer, which went on after my foundation. I gotta make sure it's all blended. Primer, foundation, concealer, and lastly, setting powder. So setting powder is going to set it all for you. So you're gonna take your setting powder and that's gonna go on last. And then you have your base face set. So I'm going to use my setting powder, which is a loose mineral powder. I'm gonna use a this is called a foundation concealer brush, right? Powder concealer brush, powder concealer brush. Are you ready for this? Because this is my favorite bit at the base face, is my setting powder, because it totally, oh, look at that. It softens everything. So I will pack it on in the under eye area first, okay? It softens, diffuses fine lines and pores, and then I'll just kind of dust it over the other areas on my face. Look at that! Smooth. Smooth like butter. Dust it off your shirt. And then that's it. Base face. Okay, what order should your base face go on? Let's review. Primer, foundation, concealer, setting powder. In that order. Okay, I hope that was helpful to you. If you have any questions, comment below, or you can private message me. If you are thinking, I want to try those products, you can go to thicklonglashes.com, click on makeup and skincare. But before you do that, if you've never purchased a foundation from me, message me and I will give you a custom color match so you know exactly which one to get, because it's on sale right now. It's literally on sale. We have an annual sale, so I've been very busy helping a lot of women, and I'd love to help you too. You just need to message me. In the meantime, if you have products like this, give them a try and shout out to me how it worked out for you. Okay? Have a great day. Ciao.